Hi Pisces, welcome to your year ahead 2018 reading with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. My apologies for these being late, and I just want to say thank you so much for all of your continued support. It means the absolute world. So, without further ado, let's go straight into it. I would like to bless both of these decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I hope that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the month of January 2018 has in store for you. I know we're already in January, but this could carry for the rest of the month as well. It's kind of a precursor to what the entire year is going to carry, so that one seems to want to pop out. The Death card, interesting, because one other sign had this, I think it was actually Capricorn, yes, and the Seven of Wands. This is interesting. So, Death card, ruled by Scorpio, it's transformation, it's change. Just like Pluto, the planet that rules Scorpio, it brings change. Sometimes it brings change through upheaval, sometimes it literally stops things dead. It brings about a death of a situation or the end of one thing and the beginning of a brand new cycle. Actually, this is a really good card to have as the first card out for the year, because it effectively says that the old chapter is dead. It's not just you stepping into a new year, it's actually you stepping into a new era of life. All planets direct right up until the 8th of March, which is amazing. It gives you a lot of strength and a lot of power. On top of that, you have the Seven of Wands to bring some kind of clarity to this. The way that I see this, in fact, as soon as I saw both of these cards come out, the first thing that came to mind for me was this is the end of you having to defend yourself. This is the end of Pisces, whoever you are, whether you're a Pisces ascendant, moon sign, sun sign, you know, just as importantly. This is the end of you having to justify yourself to other people. This is the end of you having to justify to other people what you feel, how you feel it, why you feel it, what your opinions are, you know, how you want to live your life. This is the end of all of that. This is effectively a brand new cycle. This is the end and the death of that old self that was beholden, or, you know, maybe even felt a bit more obliged towards other people and their thoughts and their understandings and their needs. And, you know, in what's kind of being being replaced with is this new strong sense of self. Why do I say that? 7 is the number of endurance. It's about the challenges. This is about the challenges to your actions. The Seven of Wands is very much a stand your ground, defend your viewpoint, you have the moral high ground. But it's not, you know, to take it even further than that, the Death card brings about an ending, it brings about a change. And so that's why when I see these two cards together, what it says to me is that this year is yours. It's yours unlike any other before it. And more importantly, this is about you stepping into a space within yourself and within your life where you no longer have to... It's not that you don't have to worry about others or have to care about them. It's more a case of you don't have to... It's like, you know what, I've done that. And from now on and here on in, I'm going to live my life for myself, to make myself happy. Some people might see that as being selfish. I don't actually see it as that. I see this more about being self-preservational. So very, very good start to the year. Very exciting times for you as well, I would say. Okay, so February. Happy birthday to those of you that celebrate it at the end of Feb. The Six of Wands, beautiful, amazing, and the Emperor. So these two cards together, again, you know, February is a really successful month for you guys, Pisces. Interesting because you've got, you know, for those of you having a birthday, really interesting. So the Six of Wands is your victory. It's that yes, it's the passing of an exam, it's the homecoming procession, it's all of the things that happen when you have already succeeded at something. So when you see the Six of Wands come up in, you know, in February, this is basically saying that in the month of February, whether it is a relationship that you get yourself into, whether it is something that you have to go to a hospital, a university. Why do I say that? The Emperor card represents the institutions within the status quo. This could be a university, it could be a police station, it could be a hospital, it could be You know, it could be a place that you study something of, you know, an academic nature that doesn't necessarily have to be an academic institution itself, but it is something official. And also, the Emperor card, because it's ruled by Aries, you know, gives you the drive, it gives you the passion to really become an authority. And the fact that you've got that with the Six of Wands kind of tells me this is the passing of an exam, it's the settling of a contract in your favour. It kind of, you know, it's, I don't know why I'm going with this legal slant, but that's kind of what I feel from it. And the other part of it, for me personally, the Emperor is about commitment. If there's one thing you can say about Aries, they never do anything half-assed. You know, they go straight in. Once they've made the decision, they commit to it 100%. And this is kind of what February represents for you. This is about you really committing yourself to your own success, which is great, because it's like in January this month you have this whole kind of thought and feeling of, right, you know what, I'm going to stamp my mark out and stand my ground now, and my life is my life. I'm not going to answer to anybody else anymore. I'm not going to I don't feel the need for anyone else to validate my decisions. And then you come into the February, or birthday time for some of you, where you have this complete self-confidence and reassurance and understanding that, you know what, I'm going to dedicate myself to my own success. I'm going to dedicate myself to achieving something that I really want to achieve. And it's going to be something official in nature. For some of you, this might even, I would go as far as to be something cosmetic. You know, this could even be some kind of cosmetic surgery. February is a good time. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but all the planets are direct. They're all, you know, relatively smiling on all of us in some way, shape or form. But if you were certainly thinking about going for any kind of cosmetic surgery, then yeah, February is a good month for you to do that. March. What does March have in store for you? Happy birthday again for those of you that celebrate in March. The Five of Swords and the Eight of Wands. Okay, so around your work situation, expect there in the month of March to be some kind of, not necessarily fraught communication, but there may well be a battle of wills taking place. Why do I say that? Five of Swords, fraught communication. It's about winning the battle so that you can come away from an argument and say, yes, I won, you know, I've gone for it. The only thing is, when I see the Five of Swords, I always say to people, don't let an argument or even an opponent in any way, shape or form force you to put your integrity on the line, especially this year. Watch my 2018 numerology year 11 video if you get a chance. Why? Because the Five of Swords, I always say that when you see this card, is it worth winning the battle if it costs you who you are? If it forces you to behave in a way that you know isn't necessarily you, just for the sake of winning that battle, is it really a win? I don't personally think so, but, you know, each to their own. And why do I say this falls into the work sphere? So you've got the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is work. It's doing the work, going to work, being at work, people at work, you know, you're travelling to work, all of that stuff. And you've got the Five of Swords here as well. The other thing that I would say, keep your ideas, especially if they are in the early stages, in the month of March, keep your ideas that relate to your work or your job personal. Keep them to yourself until you're ready to unveil them, because this kind of looks to me a bit like somebody taking in, you know, intellectually stealing some of your property. So yeah, if March is not the month to divulge any projects that you've got in the pipeline that are sort of in the developing stage, because they could, you know, very well be swiped by somebody. And if you find yourself coming up against opponents, remember what I said, don't let them compromise who you are. Don't let them make you compromise who you are just for the sake of saying, I won. Okay, so first quarter of the year down. It's an interesting month so far, but a mixed bag, as it were. Ooh, okay, first two cards out. So for April, you've got the Seven of Pentacles and you've got the Eight of Wands. Really interesting. For some of you, this plays out as, so the Seven of Wands is a seven of Pentacles even, it's about what you choose to invest your time in. It's about what you choose to put your energy into. It's about what you choose to truly generate, but more importantly nurture within your life. Whether it's a partnership, whether it's a business partnership, whether it's your physical health, whether it's the place that you live, you know, doing the place that you live up, making it nicer, you know, getting involved in being into health and fitness and stuff. It's anything that you truly choose to and desire to put your efforts into. But to get any of the rewards from that, it requires you to put in consistent and long-term effort. Why do I say that? 7, the number of endurance. Pentacles, the number of slow moving. If you were talking about a time sequence, the 7 of Pentacles would be 7 years. And then you've got this, the 8 of Wands, which is an amazing card for communication. It's a very mercurial card, actually. It's like Mercury in a fire sign, because it's got that kind of heat behind it, but it's still got that intellectual / academic feel. There's 2 things about this. For some of you, you are in the month of April, this is going to be you really seeking out places of nature. This is going to be you feeling the need to reconnect to who you are, to reconnect to your earthly, human, instinctual roots. You know, put your toes in the grass or the sand if you live near the beach. This is about you really connecting with and tapping back into the healing power of nature and really connecting to that. Because the 8 of Wands, aside from academics and whatever else I'll go into, also represents very rural places, very rural lands. And this is about you investing time and thinking about getting into that. For some of you, it could even play out that you decide to take up a form of gardening, or you decide to take up some sort of outdoor activity that allows you to tap back into that nature. But, you know, for some of you, this is equally about you taking a break and deciding to say, right, you know what, I want to reconnect with the earth, or I just want to get myself a bit more grounded. And then the 8 of Wands also talks about messages. It's communication from a distance. It's a communication at afar. So this is, it used to be letters, and it very often can be. And because the 7 of Pentacles is a slow moving card, I would wager that for a lot of you this will come in the form of a letter. This will come in the form of, you know, correspondence in the old style. I call it old style because nowadays communication's all online. It's emails, it's text messages, social media. And this card very much can represent all of that, but it can represent you speaking with somebody at a distance who is not in a space or a place that you are from. It's very much you know, communicating with somebody at a distance, and it's, you know, it looks like this is going to be long-term communication as well. It could be communication that's already been ongoing and starts to become more prominent, or communication that you start up with somebody that kind of ends up drawing you into their environment. Either way, April is a very good month for you to get out and get active and get into things that take you out into the physical world. So, May. What does May have in store for you? Alright. The 9 of Wands. So speak up. It's a time to speak up. Interesting. So you've got the 9 of Wands, which urges you to say what you feel. It urges you to finally get off your chest some of the things that you feel you need to. Interesting again, because the journey that you're on is January. You're saying, you know what, I'm not doing things for other people anymore. I'm going to live my life on my own terms for myself. February, you really start to establish that and commit yourself to your own personal development and your personal success. March, you decide to, well, you have situations that arrive within the work or academic sphere that kind of force you to think about your tactics and, more importantly, think about what you want to respond with as opposed to react with. April then brings you travel, connection to nature and all of those things, and it also brings you a lot of communication from a distance. And then finally you find yourself in May kind of saying, right, okay, well, what do I need to talk about now? What do I need to divulge? What do I need to open my mouth and speak on? Because the 9 of Wands is like the bruised soldier who's just kind of soldiered through it and never really said, like, you know, actually I feel broken, or I feel hurt, I feel this, whatever. And then you have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is kind of like saying to you, your ship is about to come in. You know, you have good things on the horizon. However, you know, this is one of those things, I kind of feel like May is going to be the culmination point, or the start of a culmination point of a process. It's like you're letting things go so that you can make way and make space for new things. And in order to step out into the world and take short trips, take short journeys, you know, May looks like that can happen for you. I kind of feel though that this is going to be you finding yourself, it's like you go on holiday or you go for a short trip and you kind of, you know, maybe have a couple of glasses of wine with a friend or a travel companion, and you start talking about all this really deep stuff, and you're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to depress you, I don't know where all of this crap is coming from. It's not crap. This is stuff that you need to bring up. This is stuff that you need to allow to come to the surface so that it can bubble away. And that's a really good thing. And it kind of looks to me like you will be supported by the company that you take travel trips with. Short weekend breaks, you know, what do they call them? Road trips, all of that stuff. Looks really, really good for the month of May. And actually you might find that some of these small trips are quite lucrative for you as well. It's about knowing when to be vulnerable, and when to, you know, spot the opportunities in what's there. But I see you kind of, lots of synchronicities taking place in the month of May. It seems like a synchronistic and healing month, and that's really, really exciting. So June, what does June have in store for you? The Hierophant. This is the first, out of all the 12 videos, this is the first time that the Hierophant's showing up, so very, very interesting. June looks like it's going to be all about the status quo and doing things by the book. And then you've got the Page of Wands, who likes to do things by the seat of their pants and just kind of go with it. Interesting, because you've got two kind of very opposing energies here. The Hierophant card is ruled by the sign of Taurus. It's a very spiritual card in some respects, but it's very much, it represents like the major religions. You know, like, well, I say major religions, the most well-known ones. Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, you know, the real structured, dogmatic religions. It also represents the other aspect of the emperor. It's like the status quo. So it's society as a whole, you know. And the Hierophant card, for me, tends to often show up for people when they're about to learn some kind of mystery. And I don't mean like the High Priestess, sort of like intuition or occult wisdom. This would very much be like where the High Priestess was all about the moon, and it's all about sort of the mother and the feminine and you know, the intuition and the secret rites. The Hierophant card would very much be about, it's about you elevating, stepping up a level, but doing so by following the rules and by following the procedure. If the High Priestess was the spiritual aspect of the ritual, the Hierophant himself would be the ritual itself. He is the dogma, he is the structure, he is the body of the religion, as it were, because he represents the practical aspect of it. You know, that's what the keys represent. The keys at the feet of, you know, at the feet of the Hierophant, for me, actually represent you being given a glimpse at something by life. It's like you go through some sort of process of initiation when you see the Hierophant card. And the process of initiation that you're going to be going through is one of an artistic nature. This kind of talks about you having you know, because the Page of Wands is music and it's art and it's books and it's spontaneity. It's the spark of inspiration, of creating something, of actually making something manifest. You know, it's that moment where you say, I want to do this, and then you just get up and you make it happen. So you've got this kind of real grounded, practical, you know, almost ritualistic sort of sense of making things happen in June. And then you've got the spark of inspiration sort of backing it up. And it's kind of going to work in a dual aspect. I kind of feel like you'll be going through the motions in June, and then the inspiration comes, and it's like you find a way to make your day-to-day routines exciting and further reaching than they appear. So it's like kind of like you go through the motions and then you have an epiphany of how you can make the everyday more magical, which is great. You know, June looks like a time where you will definitely learn secrets, but I think it's going to be more to do with learning those secrets by doing the day-to-day stuff, if that makes any sense. Okay, so July. What does July have in store for you? Awesome, the Chariot, and interesting. So the Seven of Swords is not a great card, as you know. I told you here as well. But one of the other things is I kind of feel like June is going to be a very slow month for you, whereas July is going to be very, very fast. Two things. One, keep an eye on your valuables if you are travelling, because this doesn't bode well. The reason I say that is because the Chariot is very much a card of travel. 7 again is the number of endurance, but we only find endurance when we are challenged. The Chariot card suggests that you will win all challenges. It's ultimate success, ultimate victory, ultimate getting to where you want to be, but it's a very quick card and it tends to kind of really speed things up. It's also the number 7, the ultimate 7, because it's a major arcana card. Then you've got the 7 of Swords, which is deceit, it's lies, and it can also mean theft, which is why I say when you are on your travels, especially in the month of July, keep an eye on your valuables, keep an eye on anything that is an heirloom to you, something, you know, that was given by a parent, you know, even if you go swimming, you know, put your rings or your chains or whatever. If you're going swimming and you know you're going swimming, this could even, you know, be losing an item in the sea. So keep an eye on your valuables, especially anything that has sentimental value to you. You know, that might seem obvious, but those things, it looks like in the month of July, those things are going to be the things that you'll need to keep most of your eye on. Especially if you're travelling, keep an eye out for, you know, pickpockets and things like that. On a positive note, you have a double hit of the 7 energy, and the number 7 is all to do with, although it's all to do with endurance, it's also about introspection and self-analysation. This is about really looking at things and picking them apart, and it's kind of like where you find your success, where you find your victory, and your ability to steer life by sheer force of will is through your ability to spot things at a distance. And the interesting thing is the Chariot card actually represents Cancer, the sign of Cancer, but it represents the exterior of Cancer, the shell of the crab. So, yeah, July you will definitely be travelling. Just keep an eye on your valuables and anything that is considered not sacred to you, but, you know, something that has a lot of personal attachment. Okay, August. The Hanged Man, this is your card, amazing. And the World, wow. So this is awesome. So in the month of August, the Hanged Man shows up, and the Hanged Man shows up when you're about to be enlightened or illumined into something. Why do I say that? So the Hanged Man is, you know, he's hung up by on a tree by one leg, and he's just like, yeah, I'm chilling, and he's even got a halo around his head. That means he's learnt to accept the reality of his situation, and through that acceptance of understanding his situation, through that ability to accept his situation, he then becomes able to really understand it because he can detach from it at an emotional level. When you can do that, that's when you become enlightened, because you don't take things personally and you can just see them for exactly what, who, or how they are. And that's true wisdom, that's real power. It's a card of deep spirituality. It represents the sign of Pisces, the Christ consciousness. It has links to all of these things. When you simplify the numbers on here in terms of its numerology, it's the number 12, it gives you the number 3. Then you have the World card, which is which is the number 21. Although it is the 22nd major arcana, its actual numbers are 21. So in this month, you have double hit of the 7 energy, in this month you have a double hit of the 3 energy. 3 is communication, it's expression, it's beauty, it's self-expression, self-acceptance, it's the dance of the butterfly, life, death, rebirth and complete regeneration. The number 3 is a very, very powerful number, and there is, you know, a million reasons I can't go into for time reasons why they say 3 is a magic number. It's perfect, whole and complete in and of itself. There's a reason that, you know, you hear about the Trinity and all of those things, and I will be going into the numbers later in their own videos because I just haven't got the time in these. But yes, the Hanged Man in the month of August will be giving you a glimpse into why things are the way they are, what you have learned from your entire experience of life up until this point, and how you can utilise that. And then again you have the World card, which is a brand new era. You're stepping into, you know, you're going to have 2 shifts this year, I believe, well 3 actually. Whereas most people only have sort of like the first one, the first major transition. Pisces, you guys are going to have like 2 or 3 of these, you know, moments of real epiphanies where you just say, okay, I'm ready to elevate, I'm ready to step up to and onto the next level. The World card talks about creating what you want. It talks about making things manifest at a very real level. It's a really powerful card because it's about one complete revolution of Saturn around the Sun, which, you know, can take like a 30-year cycle. But the message, the underlying message in that is that it's about what you choose to build and how you choose to build it. The number 22, although it's number 21, is the number of the master builder. What do you want to create? And the understanding of how you do it and how you are able to do it through true and pure acceptance and then direction of will. Really, really powerful. We'll go into that later on. Okay, September. King of Pentacles. First time we've seen him as well throughout this zodiac. Awesome. Look at this. Okay, so you've got King of Pentacles, an earth sign male, a Capricorn, a Taurus or a Virgo. Usually though, this guy is Taurus. That's who he pops up as. This talks about a Taurian male coming into, or somebody that is in your life that becomes a focal point and a focal figure, somebody that is going to champion you, somebody that is going to work hard for, with and on you. This very much talks about an ally. Who is the King of Pentacles? This is somebody that is slow, steady, dependent, hard-working, focused, structured, you know, somebody that is able to make sense of things, you know, and really bring them down to an earthy, practical level. And the exciting thing about this is he gives you the ground that you need as a Piscean and a water element to create true nourishment and true growth. That's really, really exciting prospect. When the kings represent an, you know, this, and I kind of believe that this is somebody that's coming into your life in September. It could well be somebody that you know, but I kind of feel like this is almost a surprise to you. So it might well be that some of you find yourself being attracted to a Taurian or an earth sign who ends up becoming something really special for you. More on that in just a second. When the court cards represent an archetype of ourselves, they talk about the thing that we need to start to embody more or bring more into the forefront of our lives. All the attributes that I mentioned for him, this is about you doing those things for yourself, getting more committed and more dependable, showing up for yourself in the real world, in a real world practical manner. Why do I say this comes as a surprise? So, I mean, the Ten of Cups is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. It's complete emotional fulfillment. It's the happy home. It's the emotions of love bursting forward. It's the happiness. It's the wish fulfillment. That doesn't just create happiness and abundance for you, it creates happiness and abundance for all the people that you care about the most. And this person brings you that. This person brings you the foundations that you need to have that. So September looks like a really, really good month for love. It looks like a really good month for partnerships. It looks like a great month for sharing ideas or moving in with a partner if you're at that stage. For those of you that are single, this looks like you finding somebody, you know, of a really amazing nature. For those of you that this is on a, you know, a more real world or business or, you know, anything to do with that, this talks about a really fruitful partnership that benefits you and them and will continue to do so for quite some time to come. October. Oh yeah, look, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. October brings you the Knight of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. So who is the Knight of Cups? The Knight of Cups is an opportunity, because the Knights very rarely represent people. The Knight of Cups is the opportunity, it's a declaration of love. It's, you know, in the months before, I kind of feel that some work or academic or, you know, partnership of some sort is kind of presented. And then in the month of September, it's solidified. This is like somebody coming forward and saying, you know what, I really care about you. Let's do this. Let's be something. Let's do something. Let's create something together. The Knight of Cups is an opportunity. It is a declaration of love. It's the opportunity to have something of lasting emotional value. You know, this is about something that makes your heart sing, and it's one of those things that's like a truly happy, genuine surprise. And it's a really beautiful card. It really is. And then you have the Three of Pentacles. This is academics. This is learning. This is the institution of learning. It talks about school, it talks about university, it talks about college, it talks about anywhere that you would do study, but it's a place that you go to do the study. For some of you, this is about a job offer. This is about a job offer, or rather, maybe not necessarily even a job that you thought of. This is about somebody approaching you and saying, what you do and how you do it, I would like to utilise those skills so that you can teach them to others. This is you, Pisces, becoming a teacher. Whether that's for the long term, whether it's for, you know, life or anything like that, I couldn't tell you. But for the month of October, people are definitely seeking you out for the skills that you have. For others of you, this is about you meeting a partner or a potential partner, for those of you that are single, at your course, the short course that you're taking, the school, the university. This is you finding a person or having a person that is related or involved with you in some way, shape or form, divulge and declare feelings for you. So very exciting month. November. The Ace of Wands, beautiful. And the Magician, I mean, wow. It doesn't really get much more powerful than that, does it? I mean, November's a really powerful month for you. So the Ace of Wands, I will say that the wand is the Magician's wand. So let's go straight to this. The November talks about you being elevated. It talks about you being celebrated. To everything that somebody else or some institution or group thought you were going to bring to the table, you bring all that and more. And you demonstrate exactly why people wanted you in the first place. You demonstrate all of the skills, all of the things that people said, yeah, you know what, we can utilise that and I'd really like it to be this person. This is you proving why. This is you saying, you know, this is you actually in a real world, practical sense saying, this is why people sought me out. This is why people wanted to be around me. This is why people wanted to recruit me in some way, shape or form. This is why you were headhunted. You know, Pisces is a very powerful sign, very psychic, very intuitive, lots of spiritual power that's gained, you know, through lifetimes worth of accumulating knowledge. And this is you finally tapping into that and utilising it. The Magician isn't just about being learned or being at the height of your game or the top of your game or, you know, the pinnacle of your profession. It also talks about you, you know, the spiritual aspect of what it means to be a magician, somebody that has innate power and is able to use that power to create what it is that they want. And then the Magician has his wand, the Ace of Wands, which is talking about art, music, books. It's talking about actually doing things, dance, drama, but not just those things necessarily. It's about creation. The Ace of Wands is about creating something, actually doing something, actually physically doing something, and it's the spark of inspiration. Where have we seen that before? In the Page of Wands. And this is about where your mind is at. You know, in November, you don't just go from strength to strength, or even possibly get a promotion, you know, or even, you know, because of the month before you get headhunted. November, you show people why you've been headhunted, you know, just why it is you that people have chosen to seek out. You know, in the month of November, it's pretty much wave your magic wand. What would you have? What would you ask for or wish for if somebody gave you a wand and you could have any one wish that you wanted? November is the time to make that wish. And then finally, December. The Ace of Pentacles, beautiful. So you get to December this year pretty much ready to go into 2019, like, you know, set already. And the Two of Wands, I mean, absolutely, I stand by that even more so now, 100%. So the Ace of Pentacles, this talks about finance, it talks about money, where most people are scrabbling for money or worried about money in December because, you know, the festivities and everything. You won't be. You will have quite a full wallet, and you will be looking to move into the new year in an amazing, expansive way. You'll be ready and set for the new year, more so than probably 10 other signs. There's only one that had this kind of energy going on. So Pisces, utilise it, because December's going to be a month of chillaxing for you, because you're going to be so ready for the new year that it will be a year where you can just say, do you know, it will be a month where you can say, right, I've already got my ducks in a row, I can spend this month chilling out. And then finally you have the Two of Wands. The right people, the right places, the right connections, affluent people, people with the right connections that can connect you to everything that you want and to be and to do and to grow into. Now, here's the really, really exciting bit for me. You start the year like this. This is your past. One foot in the past, one foot in the future on the Two of Wands. And that's why he's got the world in front of him with his foot forward. Do I choose this and everything that I could have, everything that I could become, everything that I could create in my life? Or do I stick with what I know, with what is comfortable? Me being me, I would always go for what is new and different. Don't get me wrong, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I totally get that. But if you are offered a future as opposed to a past, for me it's a no-brainer. For you guys, I mean, you guys are actually the ultimate adventurers. I love Pisceans because they've just got this ability to just totally go with the flow if they don't get lost in the you know, the most sweeping current that they're swimming with. So it's a really, really interesting year. It starts out with some challenges, but it kind of picks up speed in the latter half. Certainly from July onwards, the next part of the year kind of goes and goes and goes, with the last November and December just being really stellar months for you, where you can make leaps and bounds, especially if you choose to step into what you could have and what you could be. So I've been using the Luminous Spirit Tarot for the Key to the Year card. It's like a little extra bit of information. I love these. They're so simple, and in that simplicity is their power. So let's see what your key for the year is. Oh, that one just jumped right out. The Death card. Take a look at that. So what does that say? Like I said here, what do you choose to let go of now? What do you choose not to be? What do you choose not to take with you into this brand new year? And more importantly, what do you choose to work on that you can cut away? You know, the Death card is very much like, you know, actual death. It gets rid of something so that new life, new growth can come through. So like when you cut away the dead wood, when you weed things, when you prune things, you do that because it's imperative to the survival of the organism. You know, and you, the world, all of it, we are all one organism. And if you can find a way to really free yourself and not allow yourself to carry specific things, baggages, you know, and all the rest of it with you, you can go through this death and it will be a beautiful one. What is a beautiful death? A beautiful death is something that allows you to change, something that allows you to grow, and something that allows you to leave behind what is rotting, you know, what will only bring you down. The Death card represents the sign of Scorpio, and it talks very much about, you know, what are your deepest desires? What are the desires that you've never spoken? What are the desires that you've never allowed yourself to want? That's what these 2 months are about. It's about really going for things and saying, you know what, I don't care if people are going to call me selfish. I don't care if people are going to judge me, hate me, diss me or dismiss me. Only I can do that. And I'm choosing not to. And that's what the Death card brings you. It brings you change. It brings you the change of mind. And it brings you an ultimate clearing of your subconscious. And that is where the power is, really. Pisces, I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. I hope you have an amazing year. Thank you so much for all of your continued support, as I've already said. It looks like a great year. Stay tuned for more videos and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for being a part of the Radiant Reality family.